Here are 4 ways to turbocharge your lead generation. Do these before your competition does. The first way is a high converting landing page. That's right, if you're sending internet traffic to your website's homepage, you're wasting your money because it's probably too busy and people are leaving your site without calling you. A landing page is a specific page that is designed to do one thing and one thing only: get people to pick up the phone and call you. The second way is to do extensive keyword and competitive research. For you to succeed, you need to determine the best keywords your target customers are using. The third way is to create a customized Google campaign. Sending only highly qualified visitors to your customized landing page is the key to success. Thus, your campaign needs to target people in your specific service area and keywords. And lastly, the number 4 way to turbocharge your lead generation is to continuously split test ads and improve your Google campaigns. This ensures you will continue to get as many leads as possible for maximum return on investment.
Hello dear students. There are a good number of concepts which are covered through in this complete presentation, which are related to various elements like SEO, SEM, that is paid search or search engine marketing or search engine optimization, throwing through insights about social media, throwing through insights about email marketing, and a lot more. When I'm taking through all of these concepts step by step as and when the time appears, I am having a pre-assumption that you are having crystal clarity about these terms of digital marketing, or definitely have at least learned through these digital marketing terms or went through the tutorials regarding this in your training program, indeed in the course, and you past having that basic information are coming through out here in front of this program presented by me to know an advanced method which is related to lead generation for businesses. So in case if you have not gone through or may have missed through the previous set of concepts, I definitely urge across to you and have a precise set of emphasis that you do go forward first and learn through those concepts, because herein in this particular module of training, it is a kind of module which is going to go forward and bring all those concepts together. And while I may be explaining some of them in the module, but there is not going to be detailed steps or explanation coming through about it in the module itself, because it is running through on a pre-assumption of the student knowing the basics. So if a term like SEO comes through, I may take one simple example of SEO, but I won't be going further than that, but would be focusing on the part of how SEO is important under lead generation. Or if a part of email marketing comes through, I'll be focusing on the part that bases email marketing strategy, how lead generation works. So that's an important element which you should be knowing, because if you are unaware about this and you start taking the course, you may feel many of the topics going a bit quicker, a bit advanced, and a kind of a bouncer over your head in understanding the same. So ensure that you have worked onto it, ensure that you have learned all of them. If you have not, go forward and revise through the same and then come back and take this course further. There are great insights which I want to share, and secondly, I would also urge very strongly that past learning them, you go ahead and practice it at that very moment and do it yourself online by logging into an interface or viewing through the same, and then only move forward. With that being said, I have covered through the important points before I can dive into the conceptual part and the live explanation based part of the topic. Let us see through all those details in our coming set of tutorials indeed. Welcome across to this course related to lead generation for businesses, which will help you get through great insights for improving across your business and help you understand why lead generation is one of the important element in digital marketing for various businesses and how the same can be attained for any particular company who has an online presence and is looking for getting more business and return on their investments through their digital marketing activity. The next thing that we need to go ahead and do through is dive in deeper and get insights about our topic by first starting with understanding that what is a lead and how best is the possibility of doing lead generation for businesses. The first and foremost point coming through in line is to understand that what is a lead, or what is the basic definition of a lead, and how you can understand the concept of a lead through a very basic day-to-day life example. So herein, if we go ahead and refer through to the dictionary, lead is defined through in very simple and layman terms as the contact information given by a potential customer in exchange for some offer. So when we say that we are getting a lead or a lead is generated, we are indeed trying to go ahead and focus through on the element of getting the contact information, which could be as minimum as maybe the email address of a person, or which could be as minimum as the name and phone number of a person, or could be maybe just the name and email address of a person, or it could be extending across up to even better details like maybe their demographic details, their residential or office location, their professional details, and the list could go on and on. Now herein, the most important point to remember is that we are going to go ahead and collect information of people who are our potential customers, means they have some kind of need or requirement from us through which we can turn them from a prospect, that is someone who is in the process of thinking to buy a product or service, to a potential customer in the form of someone who is going to become an actual buyer of your product or service. So that is the mechanism about something known as lead. And herein, the last element which is quite important to note through is that in relation to the information that is shared across by the lead, in exchange for the same, there is going to be some kind of offer, some kind of element that you are going to indeed provide through to him or her. Now, to take this with a very basic example, let me go forward and explain you this stuff. Let's say that, let me take my example indeed, that maybe I am looking forward at going ahead and joining a new gym for some health related activity, so as I could go ahead and do some muscle building activity indeed. So in that scenario, when I am looking forward at joining a particular health gym, I would be going through probably online and searching across for few of the websites which may be there close to my location, or which could be the particular set of gymnasiums where I could join through. And therein, let's say that they are going forward and providing me an offer, ideally a free offer, to try a 2-day free trial in the gym. That is, go ahead, come for 2 days, take the experience of our gym, and if you don't like it, you do not sign up for our membership. So this particular activity is something that a website is doing through online. And in relation with this, what they are doing through is collecting the contact information, like the name of the person who is interested in joining the gym, his contact number, his email ID, and other details if they want to collect through. So this mechanism where a potential customer, do remember that if I sign up for a free trial, I have not yet become their paid customer who has bought a subscription or who has done through a membership with them, but I am yet an potential customer who will turn into a buyer or a paid customer in some time. So this kind of mechanism is something known as lead, or this person means if I leave my name and phone number with a particular gymnasium, then I am turning through into a lead for them. To just show you a practical example of the same, let's say that I go ahead and open through my browser. So herein I go forward and do through a search for fitness gym free pass, and on completing the search there are these various set of websites which are shown across to me for getting free trial pass. And therein I click on one of the links which is of a website which you can see through here named Anytime Fitness, and on clicking through the same I open through a page, or there is a page which is opened out here which is asking me across to enter through my details about my location, that is the city, or just enter through the zip code and then do a search. So let's say I enter throughout here as Mumbai and do a search, and then the website will go forward and provide details about location or gyms which are nearby in that particular city. And then once I'm done with that, I can go forward and get a free 7-day pass. So I will be required to just select one of the locations, and past selecting one of the locations I'll be able to go through and get my 7-day trial. So here there is a link for getting through the 7-day trial for that gym itself. So that's a particular mechanism of lead generation which is used across by websites, and that will help you understand the concepts of lead, of what a lead indeed means through in a better manner. So let us now go forward and understand the concept about lead generation. So once we have known through what a lead is, we need to understand that once a lead is the requirement of a company to be generated, means the business of a company is dependent through on leads, there is a step-by-step mechanism through which we will be doing through the process of lead generation. So to just get an basic idea about it, that what lead generation is and what Wikipedia says to us regarding the same, here is the explanation of it given through online, that in the field of marketing, may it be traditional, may it be digital marketing, lead generation is the initiation of consumer interest or inquiry into product or services of a business. So when a consumer or a potential buyer who is going to buy through our products is going forward and initiating some interest or is initiating some inquiry about your product or service, like we had seen the inquiry of free admission to the gymnasium in the previous example. So this kind of mechanism where there is some initiation for a product or for a business, then that is known through as lead generation, means the process by which you go ahead and indeed intrigue or tease across the user or go forward and connect through a user so as his or her interest or inquiry for that particular product or service is turning out into a lead for you. So that mechanism is known as lead generation. And going forward from there, as you can read throughout here, that leads can be created for purposes such as list building, or e-newsletter list acquisition, or for sales leads. So to give you a basic background about it, whenever lead generation happens, past a lead is generated, that is the contact information of a potential customer is received. The next aim is to go forward and convert that lead into a sale, because once a lead converts into a sale, it would finally turn out to be an efficient set of mechanism through which you can go ahead and get business for your particular product or service. So to do that, the first step is that we'll be using methods for generating leads, that is capturing the data about users, and then we will be even doing the process of nurturing them, that is giving them the time frame for turning from a lead into a sale by the process of list building, that is collecting their email IDs and sending across them newsletters, or ideally these are just couple of examples of it. Similarly, you could be even staying connected with a lot of other mediums like social media and others, and finally turning those acquisition or those leads into sales. So once a lead is generated, or once ideally a lead is being known through, then it can be potentially turned into a sale. That's the most important basic background relation between sales and leads that one should be remembering through, and accordingly working on getting productivity for the same. So that's the concept about lead generation. Past learning through about lead generation, the next thing coming in line is to get a know-how about the various kind of campaigns you could be doing through for lead generation. Or in more simpler terms, how does the mechanism of generating leads through different mediums, may it be email, may it be social media marketing, and even many further other set of concepts. We need to understand that what is the change in the communication with the end user, or how the end user is getting more attracted or is being pushed across with some better offer in case of lead generation. So here are a few of the basic pointers of how a normal marketing communication could be happening and how a specific communication for lead generation would be happening through. So the first and foremost point in this line is about having teasers. What teasers mean through? Well, indeed, if you are the person who is interested in this product or service, I need to tease across the end user with some compiling offer. The compiling offer could be right from a free 7-day trial, could be in the form of a very urgent offer which you say that would be closing across tomorrow, or you give through a very huge discount in terms of the product printed price, or you go ahead and connect with the user in the form that you are going to provide him some privilege offer. So all these are some kind of teasers in which you try to convince the user that why he or she should be buying your product or service and the benefit they would be receiving from the same. So that's the first pointer, that if you are doing it for lead generation, it needs to have teasers. The second pointer is about offering incentive. So herein it's a big of a march over from the previous point, but here the core focus is that if a lead is to be generated, there should be some or the other incentive. It could be a free download of an ebook or a video tutorial of an audio file. It could be a download of a white paper, of an infographic. It could be an incentive in the form of free trial for a couple of weeks or a couple of days. It could be an offer in the form of maybe some kind of cashback if you are doing an e-commerce transaction. So whatever the scenario may be, there is the requirement that if you want to generate leads for your business, you need to go forward and offer some or the other incentive. Without offering through an incentive, a lead may be difficult to be convinced across of the same. Similarly, together with that, the third pointer is about creating urgency, making sure that the user is interested to go ahead and create through that kind of mechanism in which you urge the end user to do the action quickly, maybe just 1 day sale or maybe 24-hour to 48-hour sale or whatever similar proposal could be possible. You create urgency in the mind of the end user. And finally, if it's a lead generation campaign, the leads should at some point of time, at ideally a quicker time if it is multiple set of campaigns, should be turning through finally into a sale. So a generic non-lead generation campaign would be varying a lot from a lead generation campaign, and whenever you are creating through the same, these points should always be in mind. Indeed, to go forward and show you example of these points, let me just share one of the same with you. The method which I had been sharing through with you across, that how indeed a lead generation campaign varies across from a typical other set of marketing communication. So what I'll be doing is I'll be going forward and showing you live example on few websites wherein there is some kind of marketing promotion being done through, one which is specifically done through for lead generation and another one which is a generic campaign which is not being done through for lead generation itself. So you'll be able to see the differences basis the points we have learned in the slide in the previous video in both the examples itself. So let me show you through the same. Here is one of the website which is related to a digital marketing method of search engine, and a very famous website which connects across people and updates them about the latest happenings in the field of search engine, in the field of the changes in Google AdWords, in SEO, etc. So herein, when I have opened across the site, there is this marketing campaign that they are doing by opening a kind of pop-up on my screen past the site has loaded, which is a lead generation campaign for getting registrations for their program. It is an event which is to happen through in a time frame of few weeks from June 22nd to June 23rd. And herein they are trying to use all those pointers, like they are giving us a particular mechanism by telling us about the urgency factor, that this particular event is just 2 weeks away, so go ahead and register right now. So that is how they are using this mechanism of prompting us for being a part of it, using urgency in our arena to do that. Apart from that, if I check through one more particular set of promotion that they are doing, wherein they are trying to use the urgency factor by saying that there are less than 100 tickets which are left. So that's one more mechanism which they are using. And if I go ahead and click through on their advertisement, which is a campaign for getting those registrations, then I'll be able to see through that they are trying a lot more, or they are trying to provide more reasons in their campaign page that why one should be joining this particular set of mechanism which they are doing. So therein you can see that if you register before a date, they are trying to give you an incentive for that, and then they are even going forward and showing you a complete tour or taking you through the details about what the program is going to be like. And similarly, then they are sharing through the agenda and even sharing through data about the people who are going to be a part of this particular talk itself. And with that data being given through, they are then even telling about the various activities which would be happening at the event. And there are some testimonials from previous people who have attended the event itself. So that's a mechanism, or that's a way by which they are trying to go ahead and do this lead generation campaign. Also, again, at the end of the page, they are trying to capture a lead by asking you or teasing you to give more details of yours in the form of your name and your email number, so as they can connect back with you and try to close this lead into a sale. Means then send across you promotional emails, send across to you important information with teasers, with discounts, with urgency, with prompting you to take the activity ahead and go ahead and purchase a ticket to their event, which is to be held in some time frame. So that's one of the examples of a typical lead generation campaign, where they are nurturing the lead in a very nice way, right from giving some discount to them, then moving ahead and even prompting the user to be a part, giving some inside details about what the event would be, and finally past that, what I've just done is gone ahead and clicked on their registration button, and as soon as I have done that, let us check what happens through on the page which loads. I definitely believe that even on this page, they would be having some kind of more incentive being thrown across to us, so as we are going ahead and buying the particular ticket. So here you can see through that they are going ahead and giving through various kind of prizes for the different kind of levels or what are available, and then they are ready to go ahead and get you the ticket of the same. And here is one more promotion that they are giving us, that when we are trying to close the site or leave the site, that if you want some special discount, just go ahead and put your email address, and if you want, you can put your Twitter handle, and they will give us the same. So that's one of the greatest power or greatest important point when you are doing a campaign specifically for lead generation. To show you one more example, here is another site in which known as a very famous newspaper site. Ideally, I am opening up across the e-paper version of that site, in which there are multiple advertisers who are showing their ad. One of the advertisers is of e-commerce at the top. Another one is about a particular health related product, and another one is about some online earning product. So there are 3 odd products which are shown on the page, and therein you can see that each one is trying to have the element of lead generation being done into them by telling them, like, this particular health related product is giving you an particular kind of offer of just doing a test in 3 minutes and telling you through to start the test at this very moment. Then this particular ad at the bottom is telling you to find out more details of how you can earn through an additional income quite quickly. So all of them are having that teaser based element, that particular element of providing a kind of offer, an element of providing some insights. Like here you can see they have written bonus free healing guide. So they are giving you a free incentive if you go ahead and submit your details for being a part of their healing test. So that's a major element which should always be a part of a lead generation campaign. Against that, just to show you the other variety, when any particular company or organization or any business entity is doing a normal campaign, then how it varies through. So all the pointers that we have seen in the presentation about having a teaser or creating urgency or having an incentive or a free gift or going ahead and convincing a lead to turn into a sale. Like that was the thing we had seen on that event page, that they were continuously trying to turn across the lead into a sale by asking them to provide their email address. So these pointers would be generically missing in a normal marketing communication campaign. And to show an example of the same, here is a particular website which is kind of a forum based website which connects across with various women, and on this website you can see that there is a kind of an banner or an advertisement, ideally a campaign which is there promoting the user with one of the products or one of the data they would be interested in, which is related through about 10 easy and healthy breakfast recipes. And it is in a similar way like we had seen the previous example where there are these banner ads. Similarly, there is a kind of advertisement campaign out here as well. But in this scenario, there are those points missing of having a teaser or giving across a free guide, or maybe asking across for an email address, or telling the user to submit some details, because herein it's a normal marketing communication campaign. Here the particular advertiser who is showing this particular campaign has only the aim that they need to provide some good and valuable information to the end user. Like if I go ahead and click through on the same, I would be indeed taken on a page which will give me details about those different kind of recipes and how they could be made through Indeed. So that's the mechanism, that's indeed the process of how a marketing campaign would be varying through with lead generation campaign. We are going to learn through about indeed the need of lead generation. Means while there are various techniques through which lead generation can be done, also the methodology of how lead generation happens in a particular campaign and how it varies across from marketing communication or normal marketing communication is something which has been briefly understood across. Going further, the main important pointer in relation with this is to understand that what's the importance of lead generation, or what is the right method and right direction through which one should be doing lead generation. So as you can see through something defined out here on screen, that finding your right target group is important to sales as actually selling to them. So what it further says is that the process of finding this new business is called lead generation, and one of the biggest keys to a successful business is the generation of new sales leads, which means that ideally leads which would be converting through into sales. So this is one of the important parameters which many sales and marketing people miss across when they are doing business. Like to give you a typical scenario, when I generally visit across my bank, and this would be something which you may have also seen through quite frequently at any of the bank branches, there are those sales executives who are continuously asking you questions at the doorstep or just past you are entering the bank about whether you are looking for opening a new account, is someone in your family interested in opening an account, we have good facilities for opening new account, etc, etc. And then they go ahead and try to sell across to you a new account so as they are reaching their target. Now in this kind of scenario, the personnel in the bank, that salesperson indeed, is not going behind and trying to understand that whoever is coming to the bank is not coming there to open an account. He is also not taking through the background of that person, whether that person is ideally coming in the bank for the very first time. Does he himself or herself have an account? What is the need of that person to have an account? Is he having the financial background that he can have a nice wealthy running account in the organization where you are working? Those kind of leverages are not taken in the mind by the salesperson, and thus he is ending up generating an incorrect lead. He is not going in the right methodology of doing lead generation. So this is the first and foremost point, that if you want to make healthy sales cycle, want to be a successful salesperson, you need to generate right set of leads, which will finally turn into good set of sales indeed. So that's a very important pointer, and that's the basics why lead generation should be done, so as your sales funnel is so much clean that you get a nice set of sales happening if you have generated the right set of leads, which is indeed going to be taken through and learned through by us in this lead generation process. So that's the basics about the need of lead generation. Going ahead from there, there is the next pointer about how would you be creating a complete funnel wherein whatever lead generation strategy you are using, like I had shown through a couple of strategies in the previous tutorial, which were about generating leads through doing advertisements by doing banner ads on different websites. So that's just one of them. As we go further, we are going to learn a lot more other set of techniques as well, and different set of tactics that can be used very effectively for lead generation. Here in the first pointer before that is that when you are going ahead and generating leads, what is the kind of step-by-step process you should be following, so as you have a complete strategy for converting a lead into a sale. So therein, the first and foremost pointer is define your target audience and know your customer persona as well. Now this is a very nice example and a very important pointer in relation with lead generation, very much related to the previous example which I was just giving you across. To just get through the example in a more proper perspective, so out here when I am saying creating of customer persona and defining your target audience, let me take the same example that you go ahead and visit a particular bank, and at the bank there is the salesperson who is coming across to you and getting through details about whether you are having an account or not in the bank, and similarly asking through that what kind of account it is, and then also guessing across that what would be your approximate age, and guessing across that from your look and feel that how would you be able to go ahead and give him better opportunities, which could be in the kind of investments in your account or maybe some other investments in the bank. So this kind of activity is done by that salesperson for majorly each and everyone who is coming out there. But if that's the particular mechanism he is taking in his mind, there could be even a 14-year-old boy who could be coming across to the bank and going out there and maybe coming down to deposit some amount in his account, maybe still a minor but having an account with the organization, and maybe not even earning any self-income. And similarly, there could be a 35-year-old businessman or 35-year-old employee of other organization who could even be coming across in the bank for doing activities related to his or her account. Now, the salesperson has not done the task of defining his target audience or defining his customer persona. if he or she would have done this activity properly of defining his customer persona, then he would not use the same unwanted technique of coming ahead and contacting or asking across each and every person who is coming in the bank. Like he would be asking same kind of questions even to the 14-year-old boy and be trying to convincing him for creating an account or doing some ABC activity, which is not the right perspective. And he would be using the same mechanism for even convincing the 35-year-old businessman or employee for doing activities of opening an account, etc. at the bank. So herein, when you are doing lead generation, you should be very much clear about this element. Like, let's say if you want to sell across insurance to different set of people, then you should be knowing the exact target audience. That my target audience would be in the age range of probably 25 to 45. They would be majorly male and they would be having or should be estimatedly earning an household monthly income of at least 40,000 to maybe near around 90,000 or more than that per month, and they should be interested in going ahead and insuring themselves. And a better scenario would be if they are having a family, that is they are married and are having one or two child, because these are the people who would be majorly interested in having insurance to secure their family future. So this kind of target audience definition is the first thing. I have shown a basic example in consideration with insurance. This same thing would be applicable ideally to even any other scenario when you are starting a digital marketing activity. Once you have done this step properly, the next element coming in line is to go ahead and gather a list of highly targeted prospects to contact based on your qualification criteria. So once you have defined your audience, now you need to go ahead and collect or get data or reach across to all these target prospectives, and basis their qualification, basis their criteria, you make sure that you are connecting across with them. So as I said in the example which I have just now shared, just extending the same example a bit further, once I have defined this target audience, then I'll be going ahead and implementing different digital marketing techniques or different digital marketing tactics through which I can get a phone number of a person, through which I can get an email address of a person, through which I can connect to this right set of lead by various set of campaigns, and basis these particular set of qualification criteria, I'll be connecting across to them. So when I'm doing the process of lead generation, there could be some of them under my target audience who are indeed having an age of probably 35 or maybe even around 30 years, but they are not still married across and having a family. So there my technique of convincing that person would be changing, that instead of giving him an initiative about securing your family or securing your children, I would be asking him for an initiative that would you like to invest in a particular investment mechanism through which with a very minimum spend of maybe 25 to 100 rupees per day, you could be turning out into a millionaire if you invest across for this many number of years, probably 15 odd number of years or 20 odd number of years. Then this kind of convincing tactic, because the target audience, within my target audience, because the persona of my customer has changed, will lead through to getting him qualified or convincing him or her for going ahead and buying my insurance product. So this is the mechanism of gathering. First, the mechanism of how we'll gather, we'll be seeing that in the further tutorials through the different set of tactics. And once they are gathered, how to go ahead and connect with them individually basis their persona is there in this particular point of gathering and connecting with them. And finally, the point is about create a consistent process for doing outbound outreach. What we mean by that is, when we are talking about funneling across a particular lead up to the level of a sale, we need to be reaching out to them from various kind of methods. It could be as simple as greeting them through an email on a regular basis by sending a weekly update of maybe what is the best kind of insurance one should be taking across, or even just sending them an email greeting them about a festival occasion, or if you have details, if you have been in touch with them from a long time and are knowing through their maybe date of birth, etc., then sending them a personalized greeting in the form of the day when they are having their birthday, or if it is a family, then when they are having their anniversary. So this kind of outbound reach, this kind of consistent process, even if that person is not a sale at this point of time, from this kind of mechanism of reaching across to them again and again will help you turn through into a successful lead generator and into a successful salesperson who knows how to first prepare a particular target audience list, convert them into prospects, means ideally they would be interested, so they would be in the process of being your prospects, and then turning through those prospects and closing them into a sale. So that's how the process of mapping of lead generation strategies for your funnel would work across. We'll be checking out more details in our coming tutorial.